Hi, my name is Donovan Jones, and my project is the effect of thermal energy on elasticity. My abstract, the reason for this experiment was to test if thermal energy has an effect on elasticity in an object. In this experiment, tennis balls were kept at room temperature in a freezer and out in the sun to differentiate the amount of thermal energy. The amount of thermal energy and elasticity was measured by measuring the height at which the object bounces and the temperature after being in each environment. The data shows that more thermal energy there is in an object, the more elastic the object will become. This information benefits professional tennis players and anyone who plays tennis in their daily life. The topic of this project is, does the amount of thermal energy in an object determine its elasticity? The research questions in this experiment is, what is thermal energy and how is it measured? What is elasticity and how is it measured? What determines the amount of thermal energy in an object? How does elasticity and rigidity compare? And what determines the amount of elastic energy in an object? My hypothesis is, if I change the amount of thermal energy in a tennis ball, then its elasticity will be decreased or increased because the temperature is decreased or increased because the molecules in the tennis ball will be slowed down or sped up and causing the skin of the ball to be tightened or loosened, therefore causing it to be more or less elastic. The materials, these are the materials in my project. This is the procedure I followed in my project. These are my variables. My independent variable is the thermal energy. My dependent variable is the amount of elasticity in the tennis balls. My constants are the tennis balls, the metric units, and the height at which the tennis balls were dropped, and there's no control variable. This is the data for my experiment. The data shows the temperatures and the height that it dropped and the bounce height. The first ball showed, and the second ball, the temperatures showed that the lower the temperature, the lower it bounced. These are photographs for this project. This is the data. The data shows the more thermal energy there is in an object, the more elasticity it has. This is my conclusion. In this experiment, the amount of elasticity in the object was measured based on its thermal energy. Tennis balls were put in a different temperatures to change its thermal energy. For instance, one tennis ball was put into a freezer and one was put in the sun to heat up, and another was sitting on the counter for 2 to 3 hours. The hypothesis is supported by this data because the data accurately shows how the effect of thermal energy on an object's elasticity. The conclusion continued, the data in this experiment will be useful to athletes, but specifically for tennis players. The data will help tennis players keep their balls in the right temperature that is suitable for the desire of elasticity or bounce. For future experimentation, I will make sure that to keep the room temperature the same at this time. This is my research paper and the sources cited for this experiment. And here's a picture of my board. Thank you for sitting through my presentation.